Hello all my merrymakers, I am Becca and welcome to Let's Talk Tuesday, my beginning of the month in-depth dive to what's going on behind the yarn. Basically, just a little bit more of what's going on that's not necessarily yarn related in my life that I feel comfortable sharing with you all. While I knit or crochet. So today we're doing a sit and knit as I try to finish this sock. Don't ask me what yarn this is. It's been a mystery yarn that's been in my stash for a little while. It is definitely a sock weight. It is definitely rainbow. So there we go. I'm almost done with it. And I am doing 1x1 ribbing. Pray for me. So what's been going on? Wow. So I alluded to some very strange happenings going on in my world the other day, and I'd like to talk more about that. So if you've been with me for any length of time, you know that we used to have two vehicles. One was an older Dodge Caravan. The other one is a newer Ford Fusion. Now we had known for some time that since the van was older, that it was on its way out. And finally, back in March of this year, when we took it to the mechanic, they were like, so I just wanted to get like the transmission fluid changed out because I noticed it was not the right color. They were like, well, not only do you need transmission fluid, but you also, your front brakes are almost gone. Your axle, which turns your wheel, is cracked and leaking fluid. And I feel like there was one more thing. Oh, there was a question of whether or not we were going to have to replace the transmission soon. But they didn't know that because they hadn't really looked at the transmission proper yet. But even just that was going to cost us $2,000 to fix. And we're like, no, sorry, not $2,000, $1,200, $1,200. Because he was going to cut us some deals. Because he's like, he was just like, this is going to be expensive if I charge you the full amount. And he knew we kind of wanted two vehicles. But we were like, even that is like ganging up on a little bit too much for this for the Dodge, because again, there was a question in our minds, you know, in 6 months are we gonna have to pay another $4,000 for a new transmission, because we had priced it out. That's how much it was going to be. So we're like, no, you know, this card is over 20 years old. It's not like it was in great condition when we got it, and we kind of did not treat it nice when we had it, and so we were like, let's just junk it. That was back in March, and we've been dealing with having just one vehicle for the most part. Now sometimes my wonderful roommate, who has her own vehicle, will offer to give me rides places, so it's almost like we have two vehicles still, but you know, she has her own life, and that car is older too. So who knows how long that car is going to last, and neither her or we have the money to buy her even a newer car. So fast forward to 2 weeks ago. I want to say this was 2 weeks ago. We get a letter. Hi, you are the registered owner of this vehicle that we have on our lot. If, you know, and then it went on to say, you know, it had been there for some time, and that, you know, if we wanted to reclaim the vehicle, we would have to pay some money, and not to ignore the letter that we got. So my husband called them. I think the name is called Dad's Towing or something, but he got a female, or somebody who sounded female. Let's not get into that today. Anyway, and he explained that, hey, we don't own this car or this vehicle, because technically the Dodge Caravan is a minivan. We sold it quite some time ago to a junker. And she asked us if we had a bill of sale or anything like that, and we were like, no. She's like, okay, well, I'll make the appropriate notes, and you know, we'll probably end up auctioning it off to pay for the storage of this vehicle, which was like $423, which was more than what the junker guy had paid me for it. By the way, when I sold the van to the junker, I told him, look, this car or vehicle should not be driven. You know, the axle is broken and leaking, so, you know, it's gonna slowly but surely lose its ability to turn. Not to mention, the brakes are almost gone. So if anybody drives this vehicle farther than, you know, to your dump, where it should be going is the mechanic. I had told him this. So a couple of days later, we get a different letter from one of those big law firm companies, like Morgan & Morgan. And it said, hello, you are the registered owner of this vehicle. It has been in a car accident driven by this guy. And we need to know if it was insured. Because if it was not insured, you may be liable for damages. And then we were, I gotta tell you, it made my blood pressure rise up. Because I was just like, so my husband and I started going through our phones, looking for the name of the junker. Anything that said, hey, because I couldn't find the receipt. I don't know where the receipt is. And I should have known something was up when in August, I got something from the DMV saying, hey, it's time to renew your tags. Did I renew my tag for the Ford? I want to say yes, but I will double check that once we sign off here. Anyway, but I just assumed that, you know, he had not bothered with whatever paperwork, because he was just going to sell it for parts. So I ignored it. Should have paid attention then. Really should have paid attention then. And asked questions then. Anyway, I finally, my husband, because I was looking through my emails, because they had emailed me all this stuff of how to prepare the title for the sale and all this, but I had deleted those emails. Why would I keep them? I was selling my car to be junked. So my husband tells me, or I find a post on Facebook, thank God and pass the coffee, of the day that the guy came and towed the van. However, it was only one picture, didn't have the guy's name on it or his towing number or anything, but at least we had a date. So my husband started looking through his texts to see if in any of my texts I had said the name of the company or anything like that. Of course I hadn't. It was always the Junger or the guy, you know. But that gave me the idea to go back through my phone calls, because my phone log does go back that far, thankfully. And I found the number, a number that I didn't recognize, plugged it in Google. It's a used car salesman. I said, this is the guy. So I called him and I said, hey, I need something from you that shows the sale of this vehicle to you, because I'm being asked about the ownership of this vehicle. Thankfully, he calls me back the very next day. He was very nice. He was like, at first he thought it was about Dad's towing. I'm like, no, we took care of that. That was easy. This is about the fact that this guy was in a car accident, and we're being told by the attorney that we may be liable for damages. He goes, oh my gosh. Come to find out, this guy had taken my vehicle, turned around and sold it to somebody else without filling out the proper paperwork. So, I don't know what kind of stuff they had going on between the two of them. But what he told me over the phone was he had sold it to the guy, and the guy was doing a payment plan, defaulted on his payments, and then crashed the vehicle. So he said, I do have paperwork to show that. So go ahead and when you talk to the attorney, let them know this is my name, this is my number, and I have all the information they need regarding the ownership, the true ownership of this vehicle. I'm like, thank you so much. We talked to the attorney like 10, 15 minutes later. I'm not joking. It was kind of like, it was like boom, 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 boom. And we told her, hey, this is what's going on. We sold this vehicle back in March. We have a little bit of proof. We had found the license plate that we had originally kept to give our roommate. So we still had that, thankfully, and some other stuff that showed that we had sold the vehicle, plus, hey, here's the name and the number of the guy who we sold it to, and he says he has all the information that you need regarding the ownership of the vehicle, and this is, a synopsis of what he told us over the phone. And she's like, well, thank you very much for this information. I appreciate it, but just to let you know, where we might be dropping this case. If I need any more information, I'll reach out to you, but don't anticipate me reaching out to you. And we're like, okay, that's cool. But I'm keeping all of that information that we found. And I'm saving it all in a little folder in my filing cabinet. And I'm going to save it for at least a year, because I don't need that stress again. I don't. So that really frazzled me, because that was literally the week right before Thanksgiving, and a lot of the other things were going on at the same time. And I definitely have felt like it was a little bit of a trial, maybe. I think I passed. I don't know. I mean, I'm not the type of person that believes that when you're tested with things like that, it's not coming from a good place. So, but you can still get rewards if you do it correctly. So there you go. So that's what's going on behind the yarn. Maybe that's what we should be calling this segment, behind the yarn. What do you think? Let's Talk Tuesday or behind the yarn? Halloween is over. Tomorrow is Super Tuesday, or today, because this is going up Tuesday. Today is Super Tuesday. I'm not gonna say anything other than I have voted, and I strongly encourage you, if you haven't already, to, what's the word I'm looking for? Use your right to vote. There's a different word for that, but I can't think of what it is right now. Let your voice be heard. And make sure that you know what you're voting for. There you go. That was the most neutral thing I can say about that. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a like. Especially if you are a subscriber and would like to stay subscribed. That way the YouTube overlords do not unsubscribe you against your will. Feel free to comment down below. If you're not a subscriber yet, please consider subscribing. I've got lots of yarn and lots of not yarn. I mean, this was originally supposed to be a channel that featured more than just yarn, but you know, that's where my love lies, other than my husband and my children. And if you really like this channel, please share my videos so it can grow. In the meantime, make what makes you merry. Ciao.